The rabbis say that Abraham, the patriarch Abraham, went through 10 trials, 10 major trials in his life. The Lord's Tetragrammaton name is written in classical Hebrew with block letters with 10 strokes of the pen or brush. These 10 strokes of the pen have to do with the 10 commandments which God gave to Moses, and they also correspond with the 10 major trials that Abraham went through in his life. The Bible says in Hebrews the 8th chapter, verse 10, "For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people." Revelation the 14th chapter, verse 1, says, "And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written in their foreheads." From the preceding verses, we see that the Lord promises that He desires to write His law in our hearts, and He wants to write His secret Tetragrammaton name in our foreheads. Now remember that the name, especially in the Hebraic way of thinking, the name signifies the nature. So when God says He wants to write His name in our hearts and our minds, what He is saying is that He wants to impart His nature to us. So let's examine how the Lord's name is written in classical Hebrew, for it gives us a key of understanding as to how He writes the secret name in our foreheads and in the foreheads of the 144,000 on Mount Zion. It gives us a clue as to how He imparts His nature. The Lord's name consists of 4 Hebrew letters. These letters are Yud, He, Vav, and He. The letters are written in the following manner, as you will see here on the video. If you follow the pen strokes closely, you will see that there are 10 strokes. It is also important to note that the letters are made up of exclusively of downward strokes. This shows us that the name is only written in humility. Each downward stroke of God's pen of humility imparts to us further awareness of His name or nature of humility. It is through the trials of life that God writes His Tetragrammaton name of love and His law of love in our hearts. Abraham experienced 10 great tests or trials in his life. Each trial was a stroke of God's pen, and it was these 10 trials that wrote the letters of the humility descending Tetragrammaton name in his heart and mind, thus imparting to Abraham the nature of the Lord's holy name. King David said in Psalms 45 verse 1 that his tongue was the pen of a ready writer. Our praise to God in the midst of our trials is the pen that will write the law and the name of the Lord in our hearts and in our foreheads. Thanks for watching. I hope this was a blessing to you.